Our program that is funded by United Way of Sheboygan County is our forensic interview program that really encompasses our whole center. The forensic interviewing program is the heart of our center. So what that program accomplishes is making sure that children who are suspected to be victims or witnesses to crimes are able to get to trauma-informed, developmentally sensitive interviews that are recorded so that they don't have to tell their story over and over again, so that they don't experience additional trauma through the investigation process, and so that they really, so that we're building stronger investigations and safer communities and healthier people across their lifespan. We had an adolescent come to our center, a teen boy. And this boy had come here because he had run to a friend's house and said that his mom had been physically abusing him, and he had marks on his body. And the Child Protective Services, or Human Services, and the law enforcement agencies involved decided to use the Child Advocacy Center in this situation. So they made an appointment. He was here on a day that he got to have an interview with me, and he got to have a medical exam. When children come, our teens come, everybody who would need information from that child is here on site. And so all those partners were here: law enforcement, human services, advocacy, our staff, the child abuse pediatrician, the forensic interviewer, all here for that teen. And what we were able to find out from this teen through the course of his forensic interview and his medical exam is that he had been experiencing long-term emotional and physical and verbal abuse at the hands of his mother. And it was not something that he ever had said out loud. It's not something that he had ever tried to tell anybody, because it was something that he was so, I think, fearful of and so ashamed of. But it had gotten to the point that he wasn't even sleeping in his house anymore. He had built a shelter in his yard and hadn't told anybody. And one day, things got to the point where he decided to run, and he ran to a friend's house, and the mother immediately called 911. And through his visit with us, he was able to have his health needs met. He was able to meet with an advocate to talk about the resources and support he would need to not just survive child abuse, but to thrive. And we were also able to ensure that he would be able to stay somewhere safe and not be in a situation where he felt like he had to sleep outside his own home out of fear for his life. And to this day, he remains in a safer home with a family that is taking good care of him. People aren't going in or reporting for things that they feel aren't a big deal. They wait till it's so much worse. And so then we end up with kids here with things that are really significant, like that are involved in drug dealing, kids on behalf of a parent, kids that are experiencing violent sexual abuse, kids that are maybe experiencing or watching parents use drugs on a regular basis, or teens that are experiencing significant physical abuse. Not only that, so I would say the severity of the referrals has gone up, and that's been evidenced through our statistics on complex cases. And what I mean by that is that a child wasn't just here for sexual abuse, but they were here for more than one kind of abuse. The second piece of that is that our numbers have gone up. So we saw 403 children, that's just for forensic interviews, in 2020, and that was up about 50 children from the year before. So that in a year where we basically weren't open for about a month. So that's an 11-month year. So across a 4-county region, and Sheboygan not being the biggest county, Washington County is the biggest by population. despite that, 43% of our cases came from Sheboygan. In fact, that led us to opening our satellite location, which is inside the Sheboygan Police Department. I cannot say enough about the support. That funding has allowed us to have consistent, reliable, expert forensic interviews available to any kid that calls upon us for services. And not just the interviews, but that interviewer also goes to court and testifies. The testimony and support provided by the CAC has made a difference in cases and prosecution. United Way of Sheboygan County has helped us reach so many people, just beyond the kids that are sitting in our room with us, but so many people. Well, we would love to have people follow us on Facebook, where you're going to see updates about things we're looking for. For example, we just posted about requesting Squishimals. What happens when they get those Squishimals is they immediately wrap their arms around them and put their face in them. So I think it's like a hug. It's like we're being able to hand them a hug. We are looking to expand, and that's really where our needs are, is that we're going to be launching a capital campaign this year. So anybody who's interested in supporting us in that endeavor in any way, whether it be through helping, in a building committee, offering some other kind of support, we'd love it. Follow us on Facebook or email us. Our information is on our website, and tell us you want to be on our mailing list or our email list. And that's the best way to stay informed about what's going on and help us spread the news.